No, we keep talking. No, the thing is with this generation of bowlers, you have to keep talking to them. The reason being, they've got some amount of experience, but if you consider the rule changes, with fifth fielder inside, I think most of the bowlers or all the bowlers, they are very new, because experience doesn't really count at that point time. The reason being, you have to bring the fifth fielder inside. And what we have seen is, in a particular game, a few bowlers may have off day, and that's where you have to make sure you're not giving away too many runs. Even when you bowl a bad overs, try to restrict it in between 15 to 17 runs or 18 runs. Because if you go higher than that, it has a bigger impact on the game. And what we have seen is in the last game also, from our side when we were batting, we performed in the same situation and we were able to put pressure on them. So I think in this series especially, you'll see quite a few times this balance shifting, and the better bowlers, what they will do is, when they're going through a bad over or a bad spell, they'll make sure they don't give away too many runs. Try to give away maybe 10 to 12 runs, and try to save those extra 4 runs that can have an impact on the game.
Yes, sir. Indra, did you have anything to say to Ishan after the game? Because obviously an over like that could have a pretty serious impact on his confidence. Did you have anything to say to him?
When you're disappointed, it's always better to give the individual a bit of time, because he wants to think on his own. And I think the ideal time is when the person goes back to the hotel, when he has thought, whatever is in his mind, and that's the time you go and have a chat with him, because the reason is, he'll be more in a frame of mind where he'll be accepting things, and he won't be frustrated, because at the end of the day, when you're representing your country in front of 30,000 people, if you bowl a bad over, nobody really wants to bowl a bad over, but if it happens, the individual is more disappointed than anyone else in the stadium or the team. So I think there's a right time to initiate the talks with everyone, depending on the scenario, and when the right time comes, we'll have a chat.
Mahin, excellent knock, of course, congratulations for that. But I'm just wondering whether you've been a little taken aback by the quality of the opposition from Australia in this series. I mean, did you expect them to be
they are a very
in this position and be so competitive right through?
Well, they are a very good side, and also the fact that the timing of the series, dew does play a big factor. They were on the receiving end in the last game. To some extent, we were in a position to win this game, but at the same time, it becomes a bit difficult for the bowlers to execute. So I think, overall, what we are seeing is, wickets that are good for batting. And from that point, the side that bowls slightly better, few overs of good bowling, is the side that will win most of the games. And also, if you keep taking wickets at regular interval, what we have seen is you are able to restrict the opposition, because today we kept losing wicket, but still we got 300 odd runs. So with that fifth fielder inside, it's becoming a bit difficult. And with right partnerships, right amount of partnership, and if you have wickets in hand, you may see the team scoring on the higher end of 300 plus scores.
Yes. We saw a bit of that in Chapo and then Mohali also at the nets. The bowlers were really trying to hold those Yorkers, but given the match situation, those Yorkers have not come through.
Well,
Is that you have in your mind that might, with this sort of a bowling unit that you have, would you want to do something else with them? You want to try something?
No, practice makes you perfect, and the thing is, when you bowl in net sessions, there's no real pressure on you. You try your best to execute, and that's why I say in the net sessions, if you are hitting 15 sixes, in half an hour, in the game you'll hit 3 or 4, and that's the thing in your mind, because when you're batting, you feel if you're going for a big shot, you may get out also. In the same way, what happens with the bowler is in the nets it's very difficult. That's why what we did in between was, if we get center wicket practice, we try to do a practice of slog overs. The reason being, you put fielders and then you get to know whether it's going to the boundary or not, because when you're playing a game, that outside edge also goes for a boundary and puts pressure on the bowler. So we are practicing hard, and it's a matter of time. With more practice, they'll get better and better, and they'll start executing in the game, when there's real pressure on them.
ODI rule that you would want to change, like the 2 new ball or this fifth fielder inside, anything you want to change because bowlers are not getting anything at all to play with. Is there anything that
I think only 2 bowlers should play, all the batsmen should play, and the part-timers should bowl.
Is it a technical problem? Like when other bowlers, when I speak to them, they say his disposition is the problem, or is it his confidence that he's not done well?
Well, I don't know the technicality of the game, but what's important is, you bowl well in patches, and we have seen it's not like he had a very bad game. In the first few overs, he bowled well, and it was just that, 1 over or 2 overs that we are talking about. The rest 8 overs, nobody has even spoken about it. When he gave us the wicket, that was the time when we really needed those wickets. So I think overall you have to see everything, just depending on one bad over, or if a batsman plays one bad shot, you can't really judge a batsman. So, if somebody is going through the tough period, that's a time when the team really backs him, in person.